have a question for you. What would life be like if you valued yourself? Let me say it again, and I want it to sit with you. I want you to really think about this. What would life be like if you valued yourself? How would things be different? How would you show up for yourself? What would you allow and not allow into your life? What would your happiness levels be like? How often would you feel depleted in comparison to how depleted you feel now because of how much you shape-shift yourself to become something you're not, only to receive breadcrumbs of validation from other people? How much authenticity would you experience? And through that authenticity, what would the quality of your new friendships and experiences be like because you are now being you? You're not pretending to be anything else. What kind of partnerships do you think you would attract? And how do you think they would treat you? How do you think you would feel when you look in the mirror? And when you make a mistake, as every other human does, how do you think you would feel? Do you think you would beat yourself up to the point where you reminisce constantly on the mistakes that you make rather than seeing it as something human that you did and you can now learn from? What would your interactions with your friends be like? Would they be wholesome and enjoyable? Or would they be filled with insecurity and doubt whether or not the friends really want to be friends with you? Whether or not you really are a good enough friend to them. And this applies to any type of relationship, of course. Think about it. And the reason I am not really giving you information, I'm asking you questions, is because so often we don't actually change because of the information we receive from others. So often we change because we have the realization of what life could be like if we changed. And we compare that to the life we're living now, and we say, holy crap, I don't want this anymore. I want that. I want that side of things. And the really, really, really beautiful thing is, despite, I promise you this, despite the traumas you've been through, despite the neglect, despite the pain, you can be there. And it doesn't have to take as long as you think. What if just the realization alone of what it could be like is enough for you to instantaneously shift your mindset to start thinking and believing that you are somebody who now, from this moment forward, values themselves. And suddenly, that life that you just thought about, that life that you desire, suddenly becomes real life. It's no longer in your head because you saw what it could be, and nothing in life is created before it is in our heads. There's nothing here. Look at this room that I'm in if you're on YouTube. Look at every single item. There's a million things going on in here. None of these things, this guitar, those pillowcases, none of it was created before somebody thought of it in their mind. And if you can think it in your mind, it is 1,000,000% possible. Despite anything, okay? So, If you can think of that life of you valuing yourself and the rich relationships you experience, and the way that you walk around with your head held high because you finally have the energy to feel good about yourself and to feel good about life because you're no longer using all of your energy to bring yourself down. If you can think of that life, then you can experience that life. You just have to ask yourself, first of all, do I want it? And if I do, how should I begin thinking? What should I begin believing about myself? And how would I act? How would I respond? How would I treat myself? What would I allow for myself? And when you start doing that, you're creating it. You're creating it. And soon, you will look back and say to yourself, I made the choice to value myself, and everything in my life has changed in ways I could have never expected. I promise you that. When you make that kind of choice, things change very, very, very dramatically. And it will be one of the best decisions you make. All right, that's all I have today.